How do I go with this begins? You guys, lovely seeing you guys again. Sometimes I skip weeks, but it's only because I've been really busy physically, mentally, and spiritually on a lot of things. Good things though. Been connecting a lot more. I've been really focused on balance within self, being able to accept duality, but also still staying firm within soul and listening to soul first, and feeling good. And that requires a lot of times I will have these we all have these thoughts, and sometimes they are here longer than they should be, the ones that you don't like, and it becomes a ripple effect for me sometimes, and yeah, it gets in the way a little bit, but I always come back, but anyways, this video is going to be about the reason why I moved to Macon. Who moves to Macon? I was born in Cleveland, Ohio, and I moved to Macon in 2003. Now, I said who moves to Macon because Macon is a small town, small city, a little southern city, and it was just out of nowhere. You would think that when you move somewhere, you move to a major city like Atlanta, even Texas, just somewhere, but Macon, Georgia, it was just okay. Well, back in 2003, I was in 3rd grade. So in 3rd grade, I think you're 9 or something. So I was 9. I'm 23 now. So damn, I've been here longer than I've been in Cleveland. Kinda, because I moved back and forth a lot. And I was there a couple of years, even as growing up as an adolescent. Anyway, yes. My mom got remarried. She got remarried, and him and his 2 children, and my mom and me and my sister. I have another brother from my mom, but his father took care of him our whole life, so he's been dipping and dapping back and forth. So it's just my mom, my sister, and my mom's husband and his 2 children. But we also came up here with friends as well, my uncle and a couple other people or whatever, and we migrated to Macon, Georgia. That was a culture shock for me, a major culture shock, more so because it was a whole different vibe, totally different vibe. Up north, the accent is different, so when I first came down here, everything was foreign. I'm like, what did you just say? It was hard for me to catch on to the slang, because they got a country slang, and a lot of things that I was saying they didn't know. Well, why are you saying that? I remember when we first came down here, I used to say pop. Pop, why don't you just say soda or drink? I'm like, what is that? But I got accustomed and I navigated it. So let me go back. So besides the fact that my mom got remarried, they decided to move down here because of the Nuwaubian Nation. Not sure if you guys heard of Nuwaubians, Nuwaupu, Malachi York. He was the head of this. They had the land out in Edenton, and he had a lot of people move from where they were to Macon. And eventually they moved to Edenton, and then some of them went to Athens and so forth, and they all scattered now. But that was the whole reason for us moving down to Macon, to be a part of an organized. People were saying it was cults, and they had all their thoughts and opinions on it. Back then, honestly, I wasn't open to it. I wasn't at all. I feared it, because a lot of people, I was letting other people's condition me into thinking that it was not cool to accept that, and that it was a horrible thing. I just had bad vibes. Honestly, back then I had bad vibes about it, and I just wanted to live my life free, which was crazy, because the free I wanted to live was the normal life, you feel me? just being a normal kid. And I was trying to break from the norm, which was actually trying to put me into the norm. And it was just wicked. It was wicked. It was very wicked. I experienced a lot, seen a lot of things, and it was a lot of backlash from this whole thing. How it all like kind of stopped, because there's still Nuwaubians out here. There's people that still claim being Nuwaubian, but it's kind of like died down a lot. Malakar York, if y'all look him up, I think he is still he's still incarcerated. He was they put him on trial for molestation and countless rapes and a whole bunch of maybe not a whole bunch, but a couple of other things. And that was another reason why I was shamed about it as a child, because I didn't even do all my own research on it. I didn't figure it out on my own and just take in. I subconsciously took things in because, I mean, hey, that's how I got to where I am today. And I reflect on that and I understand those conditions I placed on myself, and I've grown from it. But it was a lot of things, like it was a lot of alien activity. No, for real, like it was very different. And I say alien activity because, I mean, we're human, but we're soul first, and I consider myself an alien. And it was just like a new fucking world. Everything was just like a new everything. And when even in psychology, the psychology of the mind, once you get placed in uncomfortable situations where you never been in and you had to really figure out and navigate through things, you connect new neurons, and that opens you up to another hemisphere of who you are, which opens you up to knowledge, wisdom, perspective, new perspectives, and just being able to retain information more openly, so you can receive whatever it is that you need to receive from it. You don't have to agree with everything, but just be open to assess it, to analyze it, to hear it out, to reflect it, to whatever the case may be. Negative, no, I don't like using negative terms, because everything is a learning process. Everything is an experience. So nothing is truly negative. It's no coincidence. It's just all about your perspective on it. But that was a wicked experience. I don't claim being a Nuwaubian now. I still take some truth from it, like I take truth from a lot of things. Even Christianity, it's some truth, and it's truth in all. We're all connected at the end of the day. We just divided ourselves and blah blah blah. But I took a lot in from that. I have came a long way. It's been a lot. It's been a lot that I had to experience as a young child up until this point. But yeah, the land I can recall was I actually liked the land. It got a little creepy sometimes, because when I was young, I was still conditioned and freaking paranoid. So like, they have the Ohm, and they had this one spot with all the sand over there, and it was so, if I would have taken it as a kid a different way, it would have been so therapeutic and relaxing, because they had the Ohm, and it just was so in unison and just so meditative. And I just recall that a lot of times, like the playground they had and how the children came together, like it was a civilization. It was a new world, and it was a cult, so to speak. A lot of things had changed from that point on. We should have finished though, because I love language, but they had the Nuwaubian language, and they was teaching us, they was teaching us hieroglyphics and just ancestry Egyptians. They was really Egyptian based. They got a lot of their information from the Egyptians. Like that was their foundation, and it went back to a lot of information and knowledge from our past, our ancestors, and just connecting back to all. And it was quite interesting, even to the language. Like we was learning it. We didn't get I honestly, I don't. I know a couple of words like Rahubad, Nefarishet, shoot, mine is going blank. Probably a couple more, but I don't recall the language fully because I wasn't an expert when we was learning. We learned for a bit, and we was getting good and was getting letters and everything down pat. But that kind of came to a halt and a standstill once things start to transition, and they start shutting down the land and they just didn't want black people getting together. So that was just, it's not there anymore. But yeah, I was a Nuwaubian. We came down here happy-go-lucky. My mom started afresh and new, and we started a whole new life, like really a whole new life. And it was interesting. It was very interesting, but nonetheless it was empowering. It was evolutionary, and I would not take that back for anything. I feel like if we have never moved down here, I would probably be in a worse situation than I am now, because Cleveland was it kept me closed-minded. I was still always pretty much subconsciously open to some things, but it would have been at a much slower rate. I mean, who knows? I could have still been, aware and more conscious of self, but I doubt it would have been at a quicker rate than it is now, because I've been changing consistently. I've been placed in uncomfortable positions consistently. So that played a major role in my growth, who I am today, my acceptance of who I am today, my knowledge of self, my true self, and my ability to navigate through things and accept and reject things that align with my belief and how I feel and what's evolving to me. Yeah, that's why we moved to Macon. So we moved to Macon, Georgia, and we've been here since then. My mom moved back and forth to Atlanta. I moved back and forth to Cleveland. I was back and forth in Atlanta too, because I went to school there. But for the most part, we've been in Macon since 2003, and it's 2017 now. It's been a minute. Eventually I do want to move somewhere else, but I don't know where the freak I want to move, because I kind of want to go out the country and not to another city in the United States. But I have to let my universe align me and present to me, my ancestors, where it is that we need to travel. Well, I need to travel. Hopefully I'll be traveling with my lovers. Hopefully that'll be beautiful. Or we just all come together in some way, shape, form, or fashion as a collective unit, loving unconditional unit. But until then, I will be here. I threw on my friend's wig. Just sitting there calling my name, and I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna put it on. I'm just gonna put it on. A little fire put right there. La, 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 la. But yeah, that is my story. It could have been a little more detailed, but hey, y'all get it. Y'all get it. And I would love to hear y'all feedback on it. And have y'all ever heard of Nuwaubic or Nuwaubians in Malachi York? I actually, it's interesting why I came up with this topic is because I kept bumping into a lot of people affiliated with his children. I know a couple of because he has a lot of children. A lot. I don't even know how many, but he has a lot. And I've come in contact with a lot of them, and people who are with their children, mates and so forth. So I just was like, okay, maybe this is just, let me just talk about this, because this affected me in many ways. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, and I would love to hear from you guys and see, do y'all know anything about it? Do y'all know any of his children? Have y'all looked into it? Like, are y'all Nuwaubians? Are y'all Nuwaubians? Like, all that jazz. But yeah, that is that for now. and I cannot wait to see you guys again with my next video. I want to do an answer and questions, like questions and answers. I want people to start dropping email, social media, message, comment on post or whatever, questions, because I want to answer questions, like thoughtful questions. I'm gonna be so honest, and yeah, I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Namaste.